Well, hello there. I'm Talbot Davis, and I'm the pastor at Good Shepherd United Methodist Church. And I'm really glad that you've joined together. Maybe you've joined together with friends, or maybe you've joined together with family, or some combination thereof, and you've grabbed this material, you've gathered people together, now you're getting ready to grow in your faith. And we have a very specific way we're going to grow in our faith over these several weeks together, and that's we're going to be looking at the Jesus effect. What effect, what impact does Jesus have on the people who he encounters as he is journeying his way to the cross and ultimately the resurrection? And today we get to have a really interesting look at a fascinating character, Pontius Pilate. But even before we get close to any of that, I just need to let you know of a kind of a situation that happens in my life a lot, and I bet it happens in yours too, especially if you're married. Doesn't this happen on Fridays a lot? Well, where do you want to go to dinner? I don't know. Where do you want to go? And all the while, you really know where it is you want to go. But you don't say where it is you want to go because you don't want to make your mate unhappy. You'd sort of prefer to play the martyr or the victim sometimes, and so you don't make a decision. Where do you want to go? And then your mate returns the favor, and they don't make a decision either. And so you often, do you not, end up going to a place that neither of you wanted to go to in the first place because neither of you were willing to make a decision. And I don't know what decision making is like for you. I find it extraordinarily difficult. Sometimes you may know me best when I'm up on the platform, and it looks like I know what I'm doing a lot, and not a lot of indecision up there. But in life, trying to lead the church, trying to navigate family, trying to lead staff, there are so many times when I would just prefer somebody else make that decision rather than me make the decision. And as I've thought about my indecision that results, I realize it comes from that desire to make everybody happy. Is there any kind of decision in a really prickly situation where I can make the decision and no one will be upset with me? It will be a win, 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 win for everyone. And what I end up doing is thinking about that possible decision in all the scenarios, and I do the math and I do the calculus, and I'm bad at math and I'm terrible at calculus, and it never works out the way that I think it's going to work out. I spend so much time living in my head that I end up making no decision at all. All my vacillating, all my waffling doesn't help anybody involved in the decisions that I have to make. From the mundane, like where are you going to go for dinner, to the much more serious, to what kind of church are we going to be? It doesn't help anybody, my vacillating. Least of all does it help me. And you're getting ready to dig into a story about Pontius Pilate, who is the most famous, infamous governor in the Roman Empire ever, because he's in the creed that Jesus suffered under Pontius Pilate. So everybody said his name. They don't really know who he is. But what you're going to explore and examine is the reality that when it was on Pilate to make a decision, he ultimately decided not to make a decision. And that his irresponsibility became other people's responsibility, and his indecision became other folks' decision. And the reality is that when it comes to Jesus and the effect that he has on you, indecision isn't really an option. Hoping to make everyone happy with what you decide about Jesus isn't really possible. Because let's say you're one of those people and you've thought a while about deciding for Jesus. He's going to have my life. I'm going to be his follower. But you are worried about what your friends will say and what your family will say and what people at work will say. And I simply want you to know that any decision for Jesus will automatically alienate some people, because the main person it will alienate is Satan himself. And he always has forces at work trying to discourage people from deciding to follow Jesus. And so I simply want to invite you into that place as you have your conversations around your table where you recognize and where you understand that when it comes to Jesus, indecision is the worst decision of them all. Maybe you've heard of that great old hymn, I have decided to follow Jesus. What you may not have known is the origins of that song. It actually was first sung in India, where there was a man in a small village who had converted to Christ amid much opposition. And the village chief in that village, who worshiped all kinds of different gods and goddesses and not Jesus, confronted the man and asked him to recant. And the man said, I have decided to follow Jesus. And in front of the man, the village chief killed his 2 kids. And the man continued to say, though none go with me, still I will follow. And amid all of the threats to his wife and the rest of his family, the man in question would not change his mind and would not change his story and would not change his decision. He has decided to follow Jesus. I pray you will too. Have a great conversation.